Hello, my name is Brian Hudson, and in this video, I will be talking you through preparing court bundles for your family court hearings. So, what is a bundle? Well, in paper form, it's all the documents that the court needs to be able to reference during your proceedings in a single file or sometimes multiple files with an index so that each document within them can be easily located. In electronic form, it's all the same documents but merged into a single document with an index with the entire document optimized so it's searchable and each document hyperlinked from its entry in the index so that they can be quickly retrieved whenever necessary during proceedings. E-bundles became mandatory in January 2023 and they must follow a specified format. Paper bundles are still required. Um, However, now it's just a single copy rather than previously it was multiple copies that had to be lodged with the court, one for each litigant, one for the court, and possibly further bundles for CAFCAS or experts who are required to attend hearings. So, how big are your bundles? Well, in 2014, the Family Court introduced a 350-page limit. In my experience, this limit is very, very quickly reached, so it's common to need to ask the court's permission to exceed that limit. And it's unlikely, also in my experience, that they will decline reasonable requests to exceed the bundle limit, um, so long as the documents that are proposed to go in are relevant and necessary for good decision making. So, how important is the bundle in proceedings? Well, in a word, it's critical. With the exception of late arriving expert reports that the court has ordered, um, if you haven't got documents that you need to rely on in the bundle in time for your hearing, then they will not be considered by the judge. So it's absolutely essential that you make sure that everything that you seek to rely on goes into that bundle um, ahead of time. If you tip up on the day with a document that you found the night before and expect the judge to consider it, they just won't. So how do you make use of the bundle? Well, when writing your statement, you would reference your evidence using page and paragraph numbers. Um, and this is to direct the reader, usually the judge or possibly an expert that's been brought into your case or a CAFCAS officer, for example, to where they can find that evidence. It may not be your evidence that you're referencing, but evidence filed by the other side or by a third party, which has to be entered into the bundle. So, who's responsible for making up the bundle? Well, where both sides have legal representation, the applicant's solicitor is responsible for making that bundle up. Where both sides are unrepresented, then the applicant themselves is responsible. And where an applicant is um, self-represented, but the respondent is represented, then the respondent's solicitor would normally be responsible for the bundle. But beware, when you aren't responsible, the other side may misuse their responsibility to conveniently forget to put key documents in the bundle or ensure that key pages within a document are missing. So it's essential that you check the contents of that bundle ahead of time to be certain that all documents you need to be in there are in there and all pages within those documents have actually been included and that all of those pages are fully legible. So do the contents of the bundle have to be agreed? Well, ideally they would be, but it's common that they are not agreed. The party responsible for the bundle should send a draft index to the bundle to the other side about a week before the hearing is due to take place. If they've omitted documents that you want to be in there or included documents that you don't believe are appropriate or necessary, um, then now really is your time to speak up. So what do I do if the other side refuse to put in a document that I want entered into the bundle? Well, you can get around this by drafting another bundle. We refer to these as supplementary bundles. You'll need to serve your supplementary bundle on the other side and file it with the court ahead of the deadline that the court's given you in the preceding court order. If you have the need to create a supplementary bundle, you should prefix all your section titles and page numbers with the word sup to avoid confusion with the main bundle, and make sure that the title pages also identify that it's a supplementary bundle and not the main bundle. Don't worry at all if the other side raise an objection to you filing a supplementary bundle. So how should you structure your bundle? Well, step one, you'll need a cover page. These cover pages follow a set format. You'll find a template on my website at www.brianhudson.uk along with this video, but it looks like this. So first you need to edit the court name to insert wherever your hearing is being heard. And then you need to put in the case number that's been assigned to you. And if it's child arrangements, you would enter the name of your child, whether they're a girl or a boy, and put in their date of birth. And of course, if there's more than one children concerned with this matter, then you need to add in an extra line for each additional child. You then need to enter the name of the applicant and the name of the respondent, and you would then tell the court if this is a primary bundle, it might be a supplementary bundle, so you would let them know that, and then the type of hearing is, so it could be a final hearing or it might be a directions hearing. You might you need to let them know the time estimated for that hearing and when the hearing is taking place as well. Next, you need to populate the index with the names of each of the documents that you are entering into the bundle. And you then need to make sure that each section title has an alphabet, is represented by a letter from the alphabet, and put these in alphabetical order. Next, you need to date each entry. So take the date from your document. This should be quite easy because you've put the date into your file name. So when you are looking through those to type them in, that should serve as an aid memoir for you to just type in here rather than actually going into each document to retrieve that date. And you put these in the order of oldest first and newest last. And then finally, not finally rather, then you need to enter the page numbers for each document. So you're starting at making sure that you're putting the section letter ahead of the number. So B1 to B63 here, and then in the next section C1 to C8, and so on, so that they are very clearly identified by section. And then finally, in each section, you are numbering each entry and beginning again at the beginning for the next section. If you need a new row, in Microsoft Word, just right-click to the right of the row above, and that will bring an option for you to enter a new row below, and then you can populate that and continue until you've finished that section. So collating documents for your bundle. The way that I do this is to create a folder for my bundle, and then within that I create subfolders and I section them. I title them Section A, Section B, and so on. You might want to enter into the title of that folder the actual title that you're putting on the section as an aid memoir. And then when you are populating each folder with the required documents. What I also do is I take the date from the document and I put it into the file name. And I do this in year first, month second, and day last. That then means that these files will sort themselves into chronological order for me, and I don't need to worry about that. In this particular example, these are all emails, and so they would be going into a correspondence section. And something to remember with regards to emails is that you should not put an entire thread in one entry. You need to separate each email into an individual document, and then give it a separate title, and enter it independently of one another. The only exception to this is if there's an email where you're referring to a forwarded email below it, or a replied to email below it, and that email is of significance to the email that you're entering. That would be the only exception. Do not put threads of emails into the bundle. What that means in practice is that often a conversation involves by email, communication by email involves multiple emails on the same day. So you will also need to put the time of each of those emails into the file name, and again, then that will ensure that the emails are sorted chronologically by time as well as date for you, and that'll save you a lot of hassle later on. So next, you need to look at merging your documents that are in each section. So you can do this quite cheaply and efficiently using Adobe Acrobat. It takes a little while to get your head around it, but if you've got experience, then great. This is a very simple application to use. And when you're in Adobe, you would select the feature for Combine Files. That will take you to your folder. You'll select all the files within that folder that you want to combine. They'll already be in the correct order because you have used the dating and time format that I've suggested to put in the file name. So Adobe will recognize this and put them in the right order, but you can, within the Combine Files feature, change the order around if you need to before hitting merge, and it will merge all of those documents into a single file for you. Once you've done that, you'll need to use the edit feature, and you'll use that to paginate that newly combined file. And don't forget that when you're paginating, you need to put the letter reference for the section before the page numbers. So it would be A1 to A10, A11 to A15, and so on, and B1 to B5, B6 to B9, and so on. Okay. So once you've done that for each section, you've now got your merged documents for each section, and you need to merge these together, and you need to merge together with those the index for your master bundle single file. So you would again go back to Adobe, select the Combine Files feature, and just repeat just in the same way that you did with the individual files for each section, and that will merge them all. And once again, if you find that for some reason they're not in the right order, you'll have an option to be able to move them into the right order. Once you've done this, you use the Scan and OCR feature to optimize that single file that you've now created into your bundle. And you do this so that Adobe will change any scanned images into something that it recognizes as text. And that means that whoever's then reviewing that document can do a search for particular words in the entire document, and help them to navigate it that way. So you're now ready to distribute your bundle. So you would file the bundle by email to the court by the deadline that they have set out in the order. When you're doing this, don't forget to copy the other side, and I would consider as you've got a lot of sensitive email in there, not emails, a lot of sensitive documentation in there, and some of which um, is really highly confidential. I would consider using some form of email, secure email transfer service. If you need help, then visit my website, www.brianhudson.uk, where you can find more self-help guides. You can review my research into the family courts and the child maintenance service, or you can use the contact form if you need professional help with your case or you need to make use of our bundle preparation service. So that's it. Take care and good luck.